Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Beguiled by Books. I'm Megan, and I share short book reviews across a wide variety of genres. Today, I'm going through some of the 2024 Goodreads nominees and winners and telling you everything that you should read and what's on my TBR. Let's get started. On December 5th, 2024, Goodreads announced its winners of the annual Best Books by various categories, and they're all user-generated, user-voted, and everything like that. Now, I'm a fan of the story graph, and I'll link below to an article I wrote about why I prefer the story graph over Goodreads, and I still believe very strongly in the story graph over Goodreads. I really love the Storygraph. I think the data that they provide is fantastic. I love that you can create your own custom tags and filter things by your custom tags if you have the premium version, but you have a ton of information available to you with the free version as well. And I really think Storygraph is a superior product. This is not in any way affiliated with the Storygraph. I just love it that much. But Goodreads is always a good place to check out this time of year for some good ideas to add to your TBR. In the historical fiction category, The Women by Kristen Hanna won the category. There were some really great nominees, but I was, of course, rooting for The Women. It's one of my favorite books of 2024 as well. I talk about it here on the channel all the time, how surprised I was to read it, how it delighted me, how powerful it is. It's a really great one. So if you haven't read it, definitely put it on your TBR. In the Goodreads Romantasy category, The House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas won that category. I definitely voted for that book. There were a lot of really great contenders in that category, but House of Flame and Shadow, the third book of the Crescent City series, the 15th, 16th book overall in the Sarah J. Maas multiverse, that book is incredible. I think it's the best book Sarah J. Maas has written so far, and I look forward to future ones, but it definitely stole the show, in my opinion, even with all of the amazing books in that category. A couple other books that were in Goodreads that I have read that I want to recommend. One is going to be The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. If you've been here before, you know how much I love this book. You know I tell you all the time that anyone who doesn't like this book hates joy. It's just such a sweet, wholesome hug in book form. So if you haven't read it, run, don't walk to your nearest bookstore and get this book, and you will thank me. It is a great, cozy little read for any time you need something that's just sweet and snuggly. Another book nominated for the 2024 Best Books for Goodreads was Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. I love the Emily Wilde series. I have the third one as an ARC I have to read. I haven't read it yet. But I am so excited that this was nominated. It's a fabulous little book. It's all about fairies and adventure. And again, it's wholesome, it's sweet, it's delightful. You can't go wrong. In the young adult mystery space, the reappearance of Rachel Price was nominated. I also really enjoyed reading this book earlier this year. It is a standalone mystery book, and the premise is right there in the title, the reappearance of Rachel Price. Y'all probably know I'm not a super big whodunit fan because I tend to guess them pretty early on, so the mystery is gone. But I really enjoyed the reappearance of Rachel Price because you're walking back from a known outcome. It was really cool to see how that unraveled or raveled, depending on how you look at that. And I'm really glad to see it was nominated. For books that are on my TBR that I had hoped I would read in 2024, didn't get a chance to read in 2024, I was really excited to see a book called The Spell Shop nominated. I truly don't know anything about this book. I got it because the cover was pretty. It had the word spell in it. I like cozy, witchy type things. And I'm really excited to read it, but was delighted to see it was a nominee. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that book is all about. On my TBR for Goodreads nominee is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. And I'm a big Leigh Bardugo fan. This is actually the only book that she has written that I have yet to read. And I have two copies of it, if you can believe it, a digital and a physical copy. And I'm shamefully lax in getting on to reading this book. So excited to see that it was a nominee. I really wanted it to win, but I obviously couldn't vote for it because I hadn't read it yet. But I am hopefully going to prioritize this for an early 2025 read so I can enjoy that and figure out what all the fuss is about because I'm super excited. A book I saw nominated, I think in the fantasy or the romantasy category, I can't quite remember, is Voyage of the Damned. I just picked this book up at my local bookstore, and again, it had a pretty cover. It may have had sprayed edges. It was lovely. I just bought it on impulse, and I'm super looking forward to seeing what this book is about, and happy that all you readers out there nominated it for an award. The Ministry of Time won the sci-fi category, and that is a book that one of the owners of my local bookstore recommended to me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll read that. Grabbed it, put it in my cabinet for later. Didn't read it. So now I have a new excitement to read The Ministry of Time and see what all that it's about. It is not that long, if I remember correctly. I think it's a relatively short book. So that might be a good one to read right here at the end of the year as everyone's trying to enjoy those last few moments of peace and quiet before the new year begins. The last book on my TBR, and again, I am devastated. I did not make this a priority and I did not read this when it came out, is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. Y'all know I love his books. The House in the Cerulean Sea is one of my favorites. I love his other books, Under the Whispering Door and In the Lives of Puppets. They're so good. I immediately pre-ordered Somewhere Beyond the Sea when I realized it was going to be a book. And I'm so excited to get back to this. And life got in the way this year. I didn't get a chance to read it. And I'm definitely going to make this an early 2025 priority because I know it's going to be amazing. And I'm so happy it won its category. What books did you see on the 2024 Goodreads nominees and winners that you loved, that you want to read, maybe that you didn't love and you're surprised by the popularity? Please drop me a comment. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. And as always, if you like this video or got something out of it, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, and I hope you have a phenomenal day.